so I'm going to do the kind of high street makeup portion of this haul, I guess. So yeah, most of the things I got were from Boots because they had makeup on like all the kind of the high street brands. They had them on 3 for 2. So I decided to kind of stock up on a couple of things. I didn't go too wild, which was good, but I did get a couple of things because I try and I think I've said this before. I try and make a list of things that I want, and I try and only buy those things when they're on offer. So I get like a third of them for free, or so I'm actually kind of saving money, and I'm not just buying things I wouldn't have bought otherwise. Which I got a lot of nail polish. So the first batch I think I got were nail polishes from Barry because I had my eye on a couple. So they came out with a fairly new range. I'm not sure when this came out exactly, but it's the matte range. So I got a couple. I got two from the matte range and one from one of the jelly polishes. So the first color I got was vanilla. It's like a lighter Porchester Square basically. And I've worn all these polishes, so I can talk to you a little bit about them without giving you a rambly review. But it's probably like it's that color really. So it's like Porchester Square, but it's lighter, and this looks on my skin tone the way Porchester Square looks like on most people's skin tone. This is less grey, it's a little bit warmer, and things always look more cool tone. Taupes always look more cool tone on my fingernails just because of my skin tone. So I really like this. I've worn this once, and I wore it I think for 3 days on my nails, and I didn't notice that this wore terribly badly. I didn't think that it was the best wearing nail polish ever, but I didn't think it was as bad as like the one I'm wearing now, Chanel Rouge Noir. It's like I've had this on. I think this is the second day I've had this on. Well, no, I put it on Thursday night. I put this on, and it's really chipping. It's not a great polish, and it doesn't take a lot of wear. But this is better. And I know that matte nail polishes are kind of like notorious for chipping and just having shitty wear time, but this one wasn't. I know some people have reported that, but I found that it was quite good, and I would kind of use my hands a lot and wash my hands a lot, and I pick at things, and I don't have very long nails though, so I think that's sometimes what saves me. But even when I think I painted this on my nails when my nails had a bit more length, and it was fine. The next one I got was again from that range, and it's in the colour Mocha. So it's just sort of like, I want to show you up close because then you get to see the bottle and it's bigger and you get to see more of the colour, but colours really show up better when I hold them back here like an idiot like this. So yeah, it's sort of like that. It's a warmer version of something like Angora Cardi by Essie. It's warmer and less purple, and it's sort of like, I wouldn't really compare this to kind of Commander and Chic or anything by Sally Hansen, because it's warmer, it's more brown based, but it is a taupe. It's a nice taupe neutral colour, and it looks really nice on. I think I preferred this, but this one is very nice. It's probably the most similar to Angora Cardi, but it's just a little bit less purple. And again, it is quite warm. It's got that kind of brownness to it, but it's like a purpley brown taupe colour. A warm brown taupe colour, and it looks slightly darker or slightly cooler on me. So I really like this because it would look slightly warmer than Angora Cardi. So kind of almost in a way looks like Angora Cardi. I wanted Angora Cardi to look on me, but really nice. I can't remember the prices of these. I think the regular Barry M ones are like $4.99, and I think these are maybe $5.99. I'm not sure. The next colour I got was Blood Orange, and this is the one from the jelly range. So let's hold it back here. That'd be fairly true to colour. It's a very classic red. I usually wear things like, well, Essie Lollipop would like be my staple classic go-to red. I got that after I finished Fire by Chanel, which they don't make anymore, and Dragon I felt was just a little bit too cool tone for me. But this is probably, I guess, a richer red, and it's a little bit darker because I haven't worn red nail polish in a long time. Well, I wore it like once or twice for nights out when I was wearing a red lip and I wanted my nails to match my lips, but I haven't really been into red nail polish for a while. I went through kind of a few years where it was kind of almost all I wore, that like Rouge Noir and reds. But I've just kind of gotten out of the habit. I've been more into neutrals, and I have like so many nail polishes, but I hadn't been feeling reds, and I didn't like the way they looked on my nails when I wore them. And I sort of I was craving red, but I wanted something slightly darker, so I got this, and I really like it. I'm not sure how this would compare to something like a vodka and caviar I have by OPI. I have a feeling that's a little bit darker, and I really would like to get my hands on that. But for a long time, I kind of I looked at colours like this, and I was like, they're too dark, like, and I'd sometimes look at Essie Lollipop, and I'd be like, oh, like, it's not bright enough, and it's not neon enough for me. But I've been really enjoying this, and I put this on my nails like twice in a row, so I've only had this for maybe 2 weeks. So but, I think you kind of know you really like a polish when you put it on twice in a row. Because I rarely do that because I have so many bloody nail polishes that I have like and I like variety as well. But in comparison to the others, I felt that they had good wear time. This had fabulous wear time. This really wore very well. I put 2 coats of this on, and I did notice that when I held my hand up to say like a light, and you could see kind of the light coming through your fingers, and kind of I could see that there were patches where it wasn't fully opaque. But having said that, because it is a jelly, I remember painting 1 coat of this and saying you could definitely get away with wearing that, and it didn't look streaky or anything. It was just really when you held your hands up and you saw the light streaming through, you know, when you put your hands under a light like that, you couldn't see any difference. It looked fine. So I mean, 2 coats would be fine. You could probably get away with 1 coat of this. I think maybe, you know, if you're in a real hurry, because it is really smooth and stuff. But if you're a perfectionist, I usually end up doing 3 coats just out of habit at this stage. So I'll probably do 3 coats, but beautiful, applied beautifully. I'm not a massive fan of the regular like line of Barry polishes, like for the cream polishes. I like their glitters and some of the duochrome ones, but these jelly polishes are. I bought stuff in batches of threes, and I just looking at everything here, I seem to be missing 2 of the things. Because I usually try and group things into price range, like get things that are around the same price together. So I seem to be missing a couple of things, but I might kind of maybe take pictures and insert them later if I figure out what I did forget. Um, the first thing was the Real Technique setting brush, and I think I've shown this before. The box is empty, not because I bought an empty box, but because I'm actually using it at the moment, and the other one is kind of drying, the other one that I have. I just really like this. I love it for kind of setting concealer, and I've been using like Bare Minerals Well Rested to set my under eye concealer, and I've just been really liking it. And I think this brush is fabulous. Like, it's small enough to kind of fit under your eye and not disturb like your eye makeup, and not kind of make a mess and get powder everywhere, but it's fluffy enough again that it doesn't kind of pull at your concealer or make anything streaky. So it's just really good, and I think this was around 12. I think this was €12. The next thing I got was this Revlon Color Stay nail polish, and it's in the colour Bare Bones. This sort of reminds me of a couple nail polishes. It reminds me of California Trooper by American Apparel. It reminds me of Essie Saint Tropez, and also something else I have. Oh, Essie Barry Lychee. It's probably the most like California Trooper, or it's probably the most like Essie Saint Tropez, but when I put it on, it kind of reminds me more of California Trooper because of the cream formula. But it's just a really nice kind of taupey, kind of like very pale khaki colour, but it's kind of got enough creaminess. I just really like colours like this on my nails. They just really suit my skin tone, and they don't pick up a lot of the green. They just tend to look very taupey on my nails. Haven't worn this. I hear very good things about the wear of this. I think this is sort of one of those ones that's supposed to be like a gel polish, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I've swatched this on one nail, and it looked really nice, and I probably try this. I'll probably try this maybe the next manicure I give myself, so like that. The next thing I got was a Revlon, what are these called? Super lustrous lipstick, but it's the shine one, and it's in the colour Lover's Coral. So this is just kind of a new formula, and I'd seen this, I think it was Don't Call Me Jess. I always say Don't Call Me Jessie, but I remember looking at her blog a couple of days ago, and it said notjess.com. So I think she doesn't like to be called Jess. I think she's Jessie. I'm not sure. Anyway, she's awesome and I love her and I love her videos and her blog and everything. But she loves corals. So I love corals too. And I saw this on her blog and I was like, oh my god, I love that. And I think she compared this, it's either to a Paul and Joe lipstick or a Chanel one. I'm not sure. But I really wanted it because I thought it was really nice. And it's, without further ado, it looks like this. Corals never show up well. Actually, that's quite an accurate colour. It's a mid-tone coral, so it's kind of on the lighter side of mid-tone. It's quite a creamy colour. It looks a bit dark there, but it isn't. It's kind of like, yeah, I mean, if you think this is, it's not that kind of classic kind of coral. It's lighter. It's kind of like a lighter. Like the formula is like extremely, it's really creamy and it's not opaque, but it's really shiny, but kind of creamy as well. It's just, the formula is just beautiful. I love super lustrous lipsticks. I love Revlon lip products. I just think they do the best lip products ever. And the thing I like about this coral is that a lot of corals I find on the high street are very kind of fashion corals, I guess. They're not that kind of more classic coral. This is a very classic take on coral, but it's still fun, because I always think of coral as a fun colour. So it's not like a dowdy coral that's like kind of browny or really beigey. It's nice, but it's not kind of too neon and bright. And I really like it, and I think it's really great. And the formula is just second to none. So if you haven't checked out these shine kind of colours, or you like corals like this, it's just kind of like the perfect coral colour. It's like the perfect lighter mid-tone coral, and it's just awesome. I really like that. Can't say enough good things about that. The next thing I got, which doesn't seem to have, I seem to have lost the other two things that I bought with this, or just forgotten about them. But this is the Rimmel Apocalypse in the shade Nude Eclipse. So it just looks like that. You can see kind of compared to my skin. In real life, it isn't actually that much darker than my skin. And this would probably be like a kind of a paler nude for people who had darker skin than I have. But I got this just because paler nudes kind of haven't been floating my boat as much recently as they used to, and I still wear them, but I kind of almost find them a little bit boring. And there are times when I don't want to wear a bright colour on my lips, but I also don't want to wear a pale nude. So I've been trying to kind of find something that kind of fell in the middle ground but wasn't a brown lipstick, because I find some of those brown nudes like Twig and things like that. Twig and what's the other one that everyone loves? Is it Honesty or something? Brave? No, Brave is kind of pink. But I find that they just make me look old and they just look crap on me. So I decided to get this just as kind of a step up from, say, something like Barium 145 or 154 and things like Gosh Darling. So I'll just do a little swatch for you there. It's probably not going to be that accurate. It's not that dark, and on a lot of bloggers who kind of have like light skin, I would consider myself like very fair. A lot of people who have light skin, kind of like maybe NC20, NW20, maybe NW25, this looks quite pale on them, so it's not really dark. I like it. It's not as opaque as, say, like the Red Apocalypse or the deep colours, but I suppose that was to be expected. These colours are rarely as opaque. The next things I got from Boots were, these are the last things that I have here from Boots, and I got two of them, and they are the number 7 eye contour brush. They used to be called the eyeshadow blend and contour brush, and I have about 10 of these, but these are the new ones, and they have like kind of a gunmetal ferrule and like a shiny black, I think it's shiny black handle, but they used to have like a pale gold ferrule, and that was before like the Lisa Eldridge number 7 makeover. I'm not convinced by number 7 as a brand, and I think a lot of their stuff is just overpriced and not really that great. The packaging and things like that, it's certainly kind of more attractive now. So I got these with my number 7 vouchers. I think now, it used to be £7.50 off makeup. Now it's £6.50 off skincare, or maybe €6, and either €4 or £4.50 off makeup. So I got these brushes, I think they're about €9. I got them for around €5 each. I really like them. I wanted more because I use these just to blend out my eyeshadow. I don't use them to kind of apply colour. the odd time I will, if there's like a dirty one and I don't have any flat shader brushes that are clean. But I kind of, part of me got these because I wanted to see if they'd made the brush, if the brush was any different now, if they'd kind of, if it was more dense or anything like that. But these are really good blending brushes, and if you can get them on a discount, I would pick them up. And if you like the 217 by MAC, it might be a good idea. So yeah, I got these and I haven't used them yet, but I love these, and I can't say enough good things about these brushes because I think they're great. And I got a lot of them for like free when they did the number 7, when it was $7.50 voucher, and they were like €7. So anyway, the last thing I have to show you is something that my friend got me when she went to the US. She was in the US I think in November, and I asked her to get me a couple things, and I asked her to get me, anyway, I'll show you what I got and then I'll show you what I asked her to get me. But the things I asked her to get, she's gone like a couple times before, and I've asked her to I've asked her to get me these things, but they're the things that always sell out. And even bloggers who go to the US say that they're like, these things are so damn hard to find. So yeah, it is the L'Oreal Infallible, what are these called? Infallible eyeshadow, 24 hour in the colour Bronze Taupe. So I asked her to get me this. I asked her to get me the Amber one, Amber Rush I think it's called, and then the Linear Intense by L'Oreal as well, which I was successful in getting once before, but it's always sold out. And anyway, so yeah, I got this, and it's just, that's the back of it. I'll open it up. I'm wearing it today. So although it looks quite brown and dark, I find that with these they always look darker on the back and they go on kind of a little bit lighter, but and they never quite go on the way they look on the back. They always look slightly different, but you can see there it's kind of, there's the back, it looks very brown, and then the front looks a little bit more taupey and probably looks a little bit more like what I'm wearing. Very, very, very nice. It's super nice. I have one of these in, what's it called, Sahara Sand or something. It's the one you can get in Ireland, and that's very nice. I've worn that a lot in the summer, and I can tell that I'm really going to like this. And I love the fact that you can just pop these on with your finger. And this one I found wasn't as easy to blend out with my finger, like blend out, kind of blend the edges, so I did take a blending brush to it. But it's really handy to have things like this. You don't need brushes to apply, because I don't have a load of flat shader brushes and they're always dirty. So it's great when you can just fling something on with your fingers, even if you have to blend it out with a brush. I find I have, 50 million of these, so these blending brushes, so it's not really a problem. I think this ended up as €8, so it was cheaper than it would have been here, because I think they're €10 here.